Hey there, girlfriend. Ingafay here. Super excited to be with you once again. You know, I got another girlfriend that I want to share with you, Paty Johnson. She is going to tell us about procrastination, y'all. So, all of you guys that have been sitting on your hands, you will not be sitting on your hands any longer after you hear this. So, let's do this and talk to Paty on the other side. Hey, Paty girl.
Hello. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing so good, girl. Super excited to have you here today so we can talk about how to stop procrastination in 30 days. But before we get in that, we want to get into your business. We want to know a little bit about you, who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me here. This is such a privilege and an honor. You are absolutely amazing. So I'm very, very blessed to be here. Again, my name is Paty Johnston, and I was born in Colombia, South America, but I was very blessed. I went to the United States with my son, actually. I came to the US as a single mom. My son was 3 years old, and
Wow.
I've been able to be here for a long, long time. I came as a student, and then I have been in a roller coaster of ups and downs, and I want to tell you in a moment how I was actually born a procrastinator, and I
Right.
was able to be, overcome it. I have lived in London for a while. I lived in Australia for 5 years. So
Awesome.
I'm now a coach of others, and I've been able to train people from more than 30 countries from all around the
Wow.
world. So it's been
Awesome.
a great journey. Basically the people that I serve mostly are women that are,
Okay.
like have followed my story. I've seen women from all around the world, single moms, the moms that are really hardworking, the ones that feel like life is a lot. They're overwhelmed. They feel stuck. They feel like they have this much potential, but they're still not fulfilling their full capacity. So I'm very passionate about sharing with others how to actually implement their dreams, because dreams are great, but if there's no action behind it, then there's nothing. It's
Exactly.
just only wishful thinking. So that's my passion.
Yes. And see, you guys, I didn't even tell her to say that. See, we're already on one accord. So tell us a little bit about this journey, girl. You said that you were procrastinating in your younger days. What kind of, made you turn this thing around? Because, if you sit on your hands, nothing's going to happen. So tell us a little
No
bit
more.
about that.
Yes, absolutely. So I was born a procrastinator. Ever since I was born, I would say, "Oh, I'm gonna do something," and I wouldn't do it. My
Mm,
favorite words used to be mañana in Spanish, tomorrow. Oh, I'll do
tomorrow.
it tomorrow. I'll do it next
Yeah.
week. Oh no, next year is my year. And
Right.
I would never do the things that I knew. It's not that I didn't know. I knew exactly what to do, and I still didn't do it. And I grew up with parents that are very organized, very disciplined, very clean. And
Right.
my sister, she thinks she's perfect, but she's not perfect. She is almost perfect. And I was just like the opposite. I was very brain scattered, very disorganized, very forgetful. So my parents, especially my dad, I grew up with my dad saying, "Patty, you're such a mess. I don't see a future for you," which was heartbreaking. Oh my goodness. My dad is a good dad, but he didn't know any better.
Right.
And he used to say, "I hope you get a good husband someday because I don't know what's going to happen to you." So I grew up thinking that there was something really wrong with me.
Mm,
And on top of it all, I got pregnant when I was a teenager. And then my
right.
parents were like, "Oh my goodness, now you ruin your life. There's no
Wow.
future for you." So I came to the United States. My son was just very little. And I worked. I needed to pay the bills. And I was in a job that it was long hours, very low pay. And I knew that I could do more with my life.
Right.
So at some point I decided, well, enough is enough. So I started started studying psychology just to fix myself.
Right.
And I discovered that procrastination is not linked to lack of time, but
Right.
procrastination is directly linked to emotions. So it's not a time management issue, is an emotional management issue.
Interesting.
So when I learned that, I thought, you know what? I'm going to create a system that would help me get unstuck. So that's what I did. One of the first things that I thought I wanted to do is I wanted to have my own business, and
Right.
I had saved $2,000. We was just like the savings of my life. And I opened my own business, and 18 months later, 1.5 years later, I sold my business for $500,000.
Oh, that is awesome.
I couldn't believe it. So,
Oh, I'm sure.
I've never seen that much money together. My parents are that wealthy. Like if I needed some pairs of shoes, I would ask my dad and beg for the shoes, and they couldn't afford some extra clothes or shoes. So for me, it was like, wow, this is what action brings. This is
Yes.
what clarity of the mind brings. So that
Yes.
was my first successful business. And my second one, I opened it in 2 years. I sold it for millions of dollars,
Wow.
which a
Wow.
Colombian little, single mom with ADD, I have ADD, I have mild dyslexia. It was like, for me, very surprising. And you know what my dad said at that point?
What?
My dad said, you know what, Patty? I've always believed in you. And I was like, no, Dad, you didn't. I said
You called him
the
out.
opposite.
That is so
Oh my
awesome.
goodness. Yeah. So at that point, people started coming to me. It's like, oh my goodness,
Good.
Patty, you tell me what your secret is. And
Right.
every time that I share what I had implemented, they were being successful. They would double their income, they would lose weight, or they will find a husband, whatever their goal was.
Right.
So I thought, oh, this is very interesting. I started, informally coaching others, and then I studied to be a coach, and that's how I ended up doing the job of my dreams, which is helping others be the best they can be.
That is awesome. 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 So it sounds like you work with men as well as women. Is that the case?
That is the case. About 80% of my clients are women.
Okay.
But it happens that the 20% of my clients, men, they're actually really good. They do really, really well with my course. So I have a 30-day course, How to Stop Procrastinating in 30 Days. So yeah, that's kind of what I do, 80% with women and 20% men, but everyone's welcome.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit how you work with people. Now you're saying this is a course that you have for 30 days. So is this in a group setting or a one-on-one setting? How do you really connect with your clients?
Yeah, it depends. It depends of what you need. So basically what I teach is you cannot change anything unless you know the real reason behind it.
Right.
So we have heard in the past, we've been lied to, like other coaches and but books say, oh, you need to buy a calendar, you need to buy a planner, which they're good tools, don't get me wrong, but we
Right.
need to find the real reason of your procrastination, the
Yeah.
why behind it. Okay, why is it that I know exactly what to do, but I'm not doing it?
Right.
And that is a very personal journey.
I'm
Like,
sure.
for me, it was a lot, and for many people, not many people have had the perfect family.
Right.
So a lot of the things that we grew up with have an impact still in our adulthood. So is to find, is it my background? Is it that I have traumas? Is it that I have a big fear of failure, fear of success, even
Right.
fear
Right.
of conflict, anxiety? Is it that I feel overwhelmed with all of the things that I need to do? So basically, it is either a group setting or one-on-one individual setting where the first week we find the real reasons behind your own procrastination. And
Wow.
it's very, very deep. So I love what I do because the changes are seen like in just days, 2 or 3 days. People are like, oh my goodness, Patty, I didn't know anger was like a thing for me, or
Right.
the trauma that I was bringing from childhood. So change happens really, really quickly. And so that's the first week. Week 2, then we plan the rest of your future. So where do you want to be in 6 months? And if that's the case, we work backwards. So if you need to
Right.
be here in 6 months, where do you need to be in 3 months? Where do you need to be in 1 month? What do you need to do tomorrow to make that
Exactly.
happen? So it's
Right.
a very accountable process of, you tell me what you are going to do. If you say to me, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, for example, in the next 1 month, you need to go to the park. And if you tell me you're going to walk every day, you need to take a picture of your shoes by the park and send it to me and say, hey,
Yeah.
Patty, I'm here. And then 30
Yep.
minutes later, just send it back. So it's a very, very accountable process.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, I'm curious, when you were going through this process for yourself, what was the thing that held you back?
So I tried a lot of things independent from each other. So I'm
Okay.
going to tell you the moment that I decided I needed to change. I was driving one day to the work that I didn't like, and it was a Sunday, and
Okay.
I was driving and somebody else was taking care of my son who was like 4 or 5 at that time. And I thought, this is not the life I want to have. This is not it. I need to change. So I started reading books that I never completed. I had all the books in my little booth in my house. I never read them all. Or if I did read them, I would not apply the whole thing. I was like, oh, this is good, but I didn't apply it. So I tried that. And then I
Okay.
started going to different, webinars and videos, and it was good, but it was not enough. And then I started going to therapy. Therapy was good, but it was 1 hour a week. And then I hired a coach, and the coach was fantastic, but also it was 1 hour a week. So I felt that I was doing a lot of little things, but they were not really making a big change. So
Mm.
that's why the name of my course, I took back then 30 days for me. I'm like, you know what?
Okay.
I'm going to change everything. And I don't know you, but we women have a tendency to give. So we give to our kids and family and friends and
Yep.
clients. And all of a sudden we start going last on our list.
Yep.
So because I don't know, I was wrong. I used to think that it was selfish to put myself first. So
Right.
I decided to take 30 days and put all the things that I had done together in 30 days. So I had a full-time therapist, full-time accountability coach, books, everything that I have done in 30 days. So that's when it worked. That's when I opened my own business and I thought, oh my goodness, I feel so empowered. And empower
Hmm.
means with power. I was like,
Right.
yay, finally, I have control of my thoughts, of my feelings, of my time, of my actions. So that's how it came, the 30-day program, because it was based on my own experience. It's basically being intentional for 30 days and put yourself first so that you can actually change. So that's what made me change, not to have different parts of it together, apart, but put it all together and for 30 days. It just works.
What I was asking, though, I know initially you say that it's not, we know what to do, but we don't do it, that it's some emotion that is holding us back. So what I was
Yes,
asking was, what emotion was holding you back
got it.
when you first started
Back
this
then,
process? Yeah.
it was 100% fear. For me, it was
Okay.
like, even though I thought I knew I could do things, but deep in my heart, I was afraid that I was not good enough. Because I
Okay.
grew up listening and hearing and saying, you're a mess, you do all things wrong, when are you going to change?
Mm.
So I was like, yeah, I want to have my own business. I used to say, oh, I'm going to do it next month or next year. But
Right.
deep in my heart, I was like, can I make it happen? Am I good enough? Am I good enough? That was like the question that was dictating the actions in my life, until I broke like the little, okay, why am I feeling this? Where is this coming from? And it was like a heart and brain surgery, which is what I tell my clients. We're going to do a heart surgery here. And it was like basically reprogramming of my brain. And how is it that
Okay.
now I can see things differently, me included? I was like seeing myself in a filter that was not a reality. It was a lie that I
Right.
had to lose
Right.
for a long, long time. And once you break that barrier, then you see yourself for real. Like, this is who I am and this is what I can achieve. If you had asked me, I don't know, 15 years ago, could you see this much money together? I would have said, no, of course not. I'm not. We don't come from money. We just
Right.
hard family working class.
Right.
Now my answer is different. I can achieve what I want to achieve because I
Right.
can. So that's what I teach others. They can too. I'm not better than anyone. I mean, if I did
Right.
it, anyone can.
That's right. That's right. I love it. I love it. Okay, so you said that you have this program that's called Stop Procrastinating in 30 Days. You talked about your experience, how you had a coach and how you had a therapist and you were reading books, and that you were able to put those three things together to come up with your program.
Yes.
So I know you said that this procrastination thing is going to be different for everybody. That's why you have the quiz that we'll talk about in a minute. But how do you work with your clients? I know you talked about if they were walking or if they had committed to losing 10 pounds, that you would have them to show you that they started at this time and they ended at this time at the park. How do you work with your clients? Is it on a one-on-one basis? Is it on a group basis? Do they meet collectively, or is it some kind of DIY, or do you have all of them? I'm just curious.
All of it together. So this is how it works. There is a 30-day program, meaning that the person will go to a portal and they will listen to the coach speaking, and I'm the coach. Right. So we're gonna have like a topic of the day. Triggers. Okay. What triggers you into no action? What triggers you into anxiety? What triggers you into anger? Whatever it is. So the difference is not only you will listen to a video, which is like 20 minutes a day, but you need to take action on that video.
Yes.
Because if not, it's like, that was nice and that's it. So if we're gonna talk about triggers, I'm going to guide you, and it's a very, like, I hold your hand. I'm going to guide you into how to find out your triggers or your excuses or whatever the topic is. And on top of that, we're going to link that to your goals, whether it's, health goals or business goals or financial, whatever your goal is. Then we're going to attach those triggers, excuses, and whatever you need to do, we're going to break it down on a daily basis. So you're going to watch the video, you're going to do work on that video, and then you share it with me. And you can share it with me if we do it one-on-one, but also I have a small community. Like, I open small groups for the people that are just starting. We're accountable to each other. We cheer everyone out. Like, oh my goodness, you went out to the gym. Me too, me too, me too. So it's like a very beautiful little friendship that we formed. Like, we're best friends for like 30 days and beyond, because we see results very quickly. So go to the portal, watch the video, do the work, you share the work with us, and then on top of that, you share what your actions are on a daily basis, either with me directly or with a small group.
So does it happen? And I know everybody has their own journey. Do you have people that do it more than 30 days with you, or is that possible, or how does that normally work?
Yeah, so I have a coach, Ingafay, and a coach that doesn't have a coach is not a good coach, because we all need to grow and we need to have an open mindset.
I totally agree with that.
My coach says, Paty, your course is too good. I'm like, what do you mean? And she says, it's like, people do change in 30 days. I'm like, yes, isn't that the point? And she's like, no, you need to like extend it so that people just become your clients for like months and years. And I said to her, you know what? I don't want to charge people just to charge people. I want them to change. And that is what matters to me the most. So, I mean, if you do the work, it's guaranteed that you're going to change in 30 days. Now we have like a support group, and it's just you keep on sharing your stories, you keep doing your stuff, and then we're going to be there for you. So it's like it's still accountability process longer term, but reality is the big and hard work is during the first 30 days.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Now, but I'm gonna tell you something, Ingafay. So I tell my clients, this is gonna take about, like, listen to the video and doing the works about 30 days, 30 minutes a day, 35
Mhm.
minutes a day. And then
Yep.
I got a call, like, I don't know, like a month ago, of a client, and she was like in her first, second week, and she's like, Paty, you lied to me. I'm like, what? And she said, you lied to me about the course. You lied to me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Megan, what did I say? And she said, you said it was going to take like 30 minutes a day? I'm like, yes. And she's like, no, I'm thinking about this day and night. Why
Oh
didn't I do
wow.
this? Why did I answer this way? Why did I say yes when I wanted to say no? So I'm like, this is good. So it is a very introspective process. You actually
Oh,
engage with your full self on why do I do the things I do? So
right.
it's a beautiful learning process of oneself.
Awesome. So tell us about some of the people that you've worked with and some of the results that they've had.
Yeah, so basically, I serve a lot of solopreneurs, business owners, people that have small projects. I get a lot of people that have lots on their plate. It's like I
Okay.
have to do marketing, I have to do accounting, and on top of that, I have need to see clients. And so they get to me, plus being at home, and I have kids, and I have, all these responsibilities. So they come to me saying, Patty, I'm very busy, but it seems like I'm not very productive. I have lots on my plate. I'm very stressed. I feel very stuck.
Mhm.
So basically, what we do is to find, the reason why. Again,
Right.
sometimes we self sabotage. What
Mhm.
are you self sabotaging? Why don't you have, the clarity of where you want to be? And
Right.
so after the first few days, we find out, the reasons, and little by little, and I'm gonna say little by little, but in days they start like, oh, okay, I know why I'm not doing the things I'm doing. I have clarity. And once you
Okay.
have clarity, it's like, oh, I start being productive. Like my days
Right.
are easier, my stress is lower. And then, this, once you have clarity and peace, more people come to you. It's like,
Right.
oh, I really like her, I really like him. So your business start growing. So one part of what I do, people start growing their business in a big way, because now they're more organized, they're doing more, they have a better, peace and clarity, so they attract more clients. So that's one part. The other part, I get a lot of people that want to work on their health, and they're like, well,
Right.
Patty, every January I'm gonna say I'm gonna go to the gym, and I go for 2 days
Exactly.
and then I stop.
Right.
So that's the other part. People that want to go to the doctor on time, that want to start exercising, that want to eat healthier. So
Right.
we come and then plan the why behind it. Why are you self-sabotaging in the past? And then we create a plan. And generally, the people that want to be healthier, they, an average, my typical client loses, and this is not a, weight loss program, but they lose weight,
Right.
10 to 12 pounds in the first month, typically,
Okay.
is what they lose. Because once you start taking action, you see the results.
Right.
The other part that I get a lot of people, on top of the business or whatever they want to fix, is their house. It's like, Patty, my desk looks like it's a mountain of papers, or I haven't filed the taxes on
Right.
time because I don't even want to look at, all the receipts that I had, or I haven't sent invoices, believe it or not, people that owe them money and they have not sent the invoices on time.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, so it's, your environment is a reflection of your mind. So
Of
what we
course.
do is we take projects. Okay, what are you gonna start with? Or the
Yep.
closet, or this, or I even have things to sell that I could be earning money on. So that's another part of beautiful project, because it's easy, very easy to see. And once you conquer one area, you're like, oh, I can do this, and then you go to the next and the
Exactly.
next.
I love it.
Uh, so
I love it.
it depends. Each person has a different area. Generally, more than one, and then we kind of, I get a lot of, you changed my life,
Yeah.
but I didn't. They did it.
They
They
did.
changed their
Exactly.
life.
They took the
They
action.
took the
They
step.
took the action.
Exactly.
That's right. They did the work. Well, girl, this has been such an awesome conversation. I just love your energy and your positivity. So before I give them your freebie, I wanted to ask you, what would be one thing that you would tell people that are kind of contemplating whether they should connect with you or even talk to you about, stop this procrastination? What would you tell them?
It's very important to be honest with yourself. That's the very first step. Is what you're doing working? Because I get a lot of people that are like, "Oh, Patty, is bad, but it's not that bad. Oh, I'm getting by." So if you have
Right,
in your heart and you know that you could be in a better place, that you have things that you know you should be doing but you're not doing, this is your time. It's
right.
taking action. It has a cost, right?
Yep.
Time cost or money cost, but taking no action has even a bigger cost.
Yes.
So if you have in your heart the willingness and want to change and you're open for a change, look for help. And that's what I do.
Yep.
So I would love to whoever is listening out there, come. I would be loving and willing to talk to you to help you change.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I wanted to bring up the freebie that you wanted me to share with everyone. Tell them a little bit about what this is and why they should do it, and yeah, just give them the 411.
Yeah, so actually, imagine that, I thought I was the only procrastinator in the world, but it happens that there are many people that procrastinate. And it happens also that there are actually 5 types of procrastination. 5 types. So if you want to find your style, that will be a very good first step to have an idea of the things you do and the style you are practicing on procrastination. So I
Okay.
actually have a free quiz. So if you go to the website that we have here, you can go take the quiz, get the results, and you're gonna get them in your email. And after
Okay.
that, if you want to talk to me about your results, I'll be very happy to have a one-on-one meeting, and so that we can just talk about how to overcome your style of procrastination specifically.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you guys, here's the link. I got it here on the screen. We'll also put it in the description of the video, so don't worry about writing it down. You can just look at it in the description and do that quick hyperlink to go directly to her website. And we are super excited about you taking this step. And you got to take this first step of action just to take the quiz, right? It's always the first step. You got to start somewhere, and this
Yes.
is your starting point. So take the quiz, find out where you stand with your procrastination. And then if you want to, you can take that next step and talk to Paty to see how she can help. Well, Paty, thank you so much, girl, for sharing your wisdom and your story with us today. We are so excited to have you here, and we look forward to you helping these folks that want to be helped via this quiz.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. This was a fantastic time. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Yes, yes, yes. And you guys, thanks for watching. And if you know of anyone you would like me to interview, by all means, DM me and let me know so we can get them on. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Bye.